In this video, we're going to take a look at arrays in Ruby. And again, this is a basic overview of arrays. So I'm going to use RB to go ahead and play around with some arrays. Now, what an array is, it's a way to store multiple values in one type of container. So here, let's make a very simple array. We're going to call it A, so we're using the variable A, and it's going to contain 1, 2, 3, and 4. So there you go. It's a container that holds these values. Now to get those individual values, we would reference it by doing this. So here you have the name of the array, and then we use the brackets to actually get to the individual elements. If I just put A, that's the whole array. If I put A and then an element number, that's one element of that array. And in this case, we should get a 1. Now, you need to really pay attention that arrays, and this is in general in computers, in programming languages, but arrays start at 0. So this is element 0, element 1, element 2, element 3. I picked a bad array, I guess, to do that. Let's pick something else. Let's say, I'm going to reassign this and say A, B, C, D. Just so I'm not confusing you. Oh, I need to use, sorry, need to use strings to do that. There we go. So now we got A, and if I do A0, we get the 0. So, I'm just pointing out here that element 0 is the first element. And there's many errors in programming because of this, and they're off by 1 errors, and that's people forget when they're coding that arrays start at 0. They get like a count. If I do, and again, everything in Ruby is an object, so this array has a bunch of methods assigned to it, and one of them is the length, and that'll tell me how many elements are in there. So it's 4. So for some reason I said, well, I got 4 in here. I'm going to look at each one of them, go 1 through 4. So we did something like this. Well, I can't really do it in here, but where you jump through and you manually put 1 through 4, when you hit that 4, this is what you're going to get. This is the error you're going to get, nil, because there is no 4th element. You got a 3rd element, a 2nd, a 1st, and a 0th element, but not a 4th. So make sure you keep that clear in your head what's going on with those arrays. Now, say we wanted to do something with each of those elements as we came across it. Well, this is where we get into blocks, and I just want to show you a little bit what's happening with blocks, and we'll cover it again in another video. But essentially, we can issue the statement A each, and then we can go ahead and put in here, and I'll just use that, and that doesn't stand for anything, just variable. So we got these pipes, and then variable, that could be anything that we wanted in there other than A, because we already used A. It's just a variable name. And then I could say put S var, and all this is going to do is print out the individual elements of that array. Now we could put anything in that statement. We can iterate through all of those and figure out, like looking for a particular value or anything along those lines to really make it powerful about what we want to do when we're using arrays. An array in Ruby can contain different things. So I could say A0 equals, let's put in a whole thing here, cat. Now if I go and show you A, it's changed to cat. Now if I go A, let's go to the 2nd spot there, and it's going to equal a number, say 4. Now I'll print out A. So you can see that the array can hold different values. But again, everything in Ruby is an object, so you're not limited to storing just these kind of things in an array. You can actually have other objects in an array. Now, not to twist your mind too much, but let's say number equals 12. So we have an object called number, and if I go in here and say class, it's fixed num, so you can see it's an object. Now, I can see A0 equals number. Now it pulled over the actual value of number and threw it in there. But there is a way to go ahead and append it on there. I'm not going to show you at the moment because I don't want to get you confused, but there's a way to actually add things into an array. They're objects, so you can store actual objects in an array, or a collection as it's also called, and a collection is just a kind of more advanced array, and we'll see that in other videos.